This is not just the story of two men. It is the story of every person who believes this world will last forever. Can wealth really protect a person forever? What if, in a single moment, your beautiful gardens, your fortune, and everything you worked for was gone? What did the wealthy man say that ultimately led to his downfall? And what timeless advice did the believing man give that every Muslim should remember today? Wealth, pride, faith, and the ultimate outcome. Discover one of the most powerful parables in the Qur'an, the story of the two gardens from Surah Al-Kahf. Let's begin. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Throughout history, countless civilizations have believed that their power, wealth, and achievements would last forever. But the Qur'an tells us a timeless story, a story that is as relevant today as it was when it was first revealed over 14 centuries ago. It is not merely the story of two men, it is the story of every heart that becomes attached to this world. Allah says, "And present to them the example of two men. To one of them we gave 2 gardens of grapevines, surrounded them with date palms, and placed fields of crops between them." These were no ordinary gardens. Vast vineyards stretched across the landscape. Heavy clusters of ripe grapes hung from every vine. Towering date palms formed a natural wall around the gardens, and between them lay fertile fields producing abundant harvests. The Quran tells us that both gardens yielded their fruit in full, never failing, never falling short, as if every season brought another blessing. Then Allah caused a river to flow between them, pure flowing water, constant, refreshing, the source of life for everything around it. There was no fear of drought, no concern over failed harvests, no shortage of provision. Everything this man possessed was a blessing from Allah. His wealth increased, his harvests flourished. The other man possessed far less in worldly riches, yet his greatest treasure was something money could never buy: faith in Allah. One man measured success by what he owned. The other measured success by his relationship with his Creator. At first glance, their lives appeared peaceful, but hidden beneath the beauty of those flourishing gardens, a test was unfolding, because every blessing is also a trial. And soon, wealth would begin to change the heart of one of these men, while the faith of the other would shine even brighter. As the years passed, the gardens became even more beautiful. The vines grew heavier with fruit. The date palms stood tall. The fields produced abundant harvests, and the river continued to flow through the land. Every passing season brought greater prosperity, but with every blessing came a test. Instead of increasing in gratitude, the man's wealth began to fill his heart with pride. One day, while speaking to his companion, he declared with confidence,
"I have more wealth than you, and I am greater in influence."
These were not merely words of success. They were the words of a heart that had begun to forget the one who had granted every blessing. Then he entered his garden. The Quran tells us that he entered it while wronging himself, not because he had wealth, but because he had allowed wealth to blind his heart. As he looked across his magnificent gardens, he proudly said,
"I do not think this will ever perish."
To him, his prosperity seemed permanent. His wealth seemed untouchable. His future appeared secure. Then his arrogance went even further. He said,
"And I do not think the hour will ever come. But even if I am returned to my Lord, I will surely find something even better than this."
In that moment, he no longer trusted in Allah. He trusted in his wealth. He believed his success was the result of his own greatness, rather than a blessing from his Creator. This has always been one of the greatest dangers of worldly success. When people begin to believe that what they possess can never be taken away, but every blessing belongs to Allah, and what Allah gives, He can also take away. The man's companion listened patiently. He did not respond with envy or anger. Instead, he prepared to remind his friend of a truth that every believer must remember. After listening patiently, the believing man responded, not with anger, not with envy, but with wisdom, compassion, and sincere concern. He said,
"Do you disbelieve in the one who created you from dust, then from a drop of fluid, and then fashioned you into a perfect man? But as for me, He is Allah my Lord, and I associate no one with my Lord."
It was a declaration of faith, a reminder that true honor is not found in wealth, but in knowing and worshiping Allah alone. Then he taught his companion a lesson that Muslims continue to recite to this day. He said,
"When you entered your garden, why did you not say, Masha Allah, la quwwata illa billah?
This is what Allah has willed. There is no power except through Allah. Every blessing, no matter how great, exists only by the will of Allah. Without Him, no wealth can remain, no kingdom can survive, no success can endure." The believer then humbly added,
If you see me as less than you in wealth and children, perhaps my Lord will give me something far better than your garden. Or He may send a calamity upon yours from the sky, leaving it as barren ground. Or its water may sink into the earth, beyond your ability to recover.
These were not words of jealousy, nor were they words of revenge. They were words of sincere advice, a final reminder. Before it was too late, the believer understood something his companion had forgotten. Every blessing is temporary. Every possession belongs to Allah, and every soul will one day stand before its Creator. The warning had been given. The truth had been made clear, but pride had blinded the man's heart. He trusted in his wealth. He trusted in his gardens. He trusted in what his own eyes could see, and he forgot the one who had given him everything. Then the moment arrived. The Qur'an describes it in just a few words, yet those words carry a lesson for every generation. And his fruits were encompassed by ruin. The Qur'an does not tell us exactly how the destruction came. Was it a violent storm, a devastating flood, or another form of Allah's decree? The Qur'an leaves those details unspoken because the lesson is not found in how the gardens were destroyed, but in why. The gardens that once overflowed with life were now silent. The vineyards that had once produced abundant fruit lay in ruins. The fertile fields were gone. The flowing river could no longer save what had already been lost. Everything he believed would last forever had vanished. The Qur'an tells us that he began turning his hands over in regret as he looked upon his ruined gardens. The wealth that had filled him with pride could no longer help him. Then, with overwhelming sorrow, he cried,
"Oh, I wish I had never associated anyone with my Lord."
But by then, the opportunity to reflect had already passed. How often do people remember Allah only after losing the blessings they once took for granted? Sometimes, the greatest loss is not wealth itself, but realizing the truth when it is already too late. The man who once took pride in his wealth now stood helpless, surrounded by the ruins of everything he had believed would last forever. His gardens were gone, his harvests had vanished, his worldly success had disappeared, and the people he once relied upon could do nothing to help him. The Qur'an declares, and there was no company to help him against Allah, nor was he able to defend himself. In that moment, the illusion of worldly power came to an end. No amount of wealth, no influence, no status can protect a person when Allah's decree arrives. Then Allah reveals the greatest lesson of this story. There, the only true authority belongs to Allah, the truth. He is the best in reward, and the best in the final outcome. This is not merely the story of two men. It is the story of every generation, a reminder that wealth is a blessing, but it is also a test. Success is not measured by what we own, but by how we respond to the blessings Allah has entrusted to us. The gardens of this world will one day fade away, but faith, gratitude, humility, and trust in Allah are treasures that never perish. So whenever Allah blesses us, let us remember the words taught in this story.
ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله.
This is what Allah has willed. There is no power except through Allah. For every blessing belongs to Him, and to Him we will all return. May Allah make us among those who are grateful, humble, and steadfast in faith.